Welcome back to another video. Today we're doing the Jacksonville Jaguars season review. Now, I'm basically going to touch on how the Jaguars did this season and what I expect them to do going into this offseason. So first, to get into their season, they went 3-14. They didn't do good at all. Majority of the year, Trevor Lawrence was hurt, which even when he was playing healthy, it didn't really help. We had 3 wins, 2 against Tennessee, the Tennessee Titans, and then 1 against New England overseas. So we only had 1 win at home and 1 win away. The other 14 games that we played, we lost. So to touch on more a little bit about what went on this season, I want to start with the offense. The offense, I think, is going to be my biggest concern going forward in the future overall. Trevor Lawrence hasn't gotten better. He's been the same quarterback since we drafted him. He doesn't seem to just take that next level step. And I think that's being a big problem for us now. Because he's not getting better. He's just staying the same. He's been the same quarterback since he's gotten the league. He felt like he's been the same quarterback since he started playing football, really. He really hasn't taken no big step to show us that he's going to be elite. We did pay him a lot of money, which at this point you have to stick with him. So I feel like if we get the right coach, because we did fire Doug Peterson, I will get on that in a little bit. I think if we can find the right coach to get him with, he could do a lot better. And hopefully going into next season, he could take that step up that every Jacksonville fan has been waiting for. First, I think we need to fire Press Taylor. He is literally one of the worst offensive coordinators in the league. I don't understand how Doug Peterson got fired and Press Taylor doesn't get fired. I think really they need to clear out a lot of people in that office. I think the GM has to go. I think the owner has to go. Offensive coordinator needs to go. A lot of coaches need to go. Keep the defensive coordinator. He just got here. He's actually solid. And I will speak on that, actually. Another thing is, if you're Press Taylor, this is one of the best offenses Jacksonville has probably ever had talent-wise. You have a young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. You have Travis Etienne. You have Tank Bigsby, the second running back who was playing really good. Brian Thomas Jr., the rookie you drafted, who has shown to be an amazing pickup. Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. That is the best offense we could surround Trevor Lawrence with. The fact that Press Taylor couldn't do anything with it is saying a lot. Now, I was doing some research. I found out we were 13 in one-score games. There were 13 games. It was just a one-score game, and we couldn't win. Now, majority of those, Trevor Lawrence didn't play. It was Mac Jones. Mac Jones actually played solid for a backup. He was getting better the more he was in there. But I don't understand how your offense is this bad. The Jaguars ranked 25 in rushing offense, 24 in passing offense, and 25 in total offense. Here's what also about me. We were 25 in total offense, but we were 12 in red zone offense. So where is it not clicking at? So I will say, through the last 4 years, the Jaguars have been a good red zone offense team. But I think it also has to start with the offensive line. We have to get better at the offensive line. We allowed 32 sacks this season. That's how Trevor keeps getting hurt. The concussion one wasn't on him or on the offensive line. But we have to do better on the offensive end. I think right now is really no more better talent you could bring in to help him. I think you just have to find the right people who could come in and get this team going. And as of right now, I don't see nobody you can really add to get this offense even more talented than it already is. I think you could get the offensive line better. That's about it. Other than that, we're not in a conversation right now. where we could go just look for a new quarterback. Please don't waste a pick on one. Because right now, until Trevor shows us that he's just not it, okay, then we could start talking about getting a new quarterback. But we're just asking Trevor to just play solid football at this point to show us that he can even be somebody who could just stay in there. So, I think right now, the offense has to just do better. I think it starts by firing Press Taylor. That is literally it for me. Defense didn't do bad. We hired a new defensive coordinator. He came in, didn't do the best. They were doing good. There would be times where this defense looked really good. We're 28 though in total defense. That is really bad. But there were times where this defense showed sparks. I think we can get better. We need a corner. I think going into the draft, we have to take Will Johnson. I will get more into that about their draft picks. Because you need somebody next to Tyson Campbell. I didn't like Ronald Derby. I didn't like him when we picked him up. We need someone actually good next to Tyson Campbell because Tyson Campbell has not been fully healthy. I think if we have somebody who could be next to him who's also pretty solid, we can do something. Other than that I like the secondary. I like Andrew Cisco. He's actually about to be a free agent. He had his up and downs this year, and they're saying he might test the waters for free agency, which really I think we probably need to keep him. Because I feel like if we're trying to win, you want to sign people back so you don't have to keep filling in these gaps to just giving it to rookies and all of that. So try to sign Andrew Cisco back to get him back on the team. I think the D-line is good. Everybody's saying we should take a defensive lineman to help boost up our D-line because of Trevor Walker. That would have been, I think he was our first round pick. And really right now it's looking like he's becoming a failed experiment. He shown signs that he can be very, very good. But then the signs show that he can't be that good. And really, I think right now, a lot of people want another D-line. Not only to take pressure off of Josh Hines-Allen, to take pressure just so he doesn't have to do everything. I wouldn't take a D lineman for our first pick. We have the pick 5. I would take Will Johnson at that pick. I think we need O-line and a corner. I don't think D-line isn't a big necessary move for me. Because I feel like our D-line could do enough. And you could keep going with Trevor because Trevor Walker's still young. So you can keep developing him. So I think I'm not too worried about the D-line. Defense, I wasn't too worried about anyway. Except for like the corner, like I said, with Will Johnson. If we could get him, I feel like he'll be really good. So second, we'll go into what I think we should do in the offseason. You went 3-14. First, let's start with hiring a coach. All the candidates I actually really like. I actually wrote down a list of a couple of people I want. Out of these, if I had to, out of these coaches, I would probably want Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator from the Minnesota Vikings. He's a really good defensive-minded coach, and I feel like he's not only that, he looks like a really good leader for the team. And he hasn't done bad, really. I think when the Dolphins got rid of him, he wasn't doing bad. He was literally about to take the Dolphins to the playoffs. But they had lost that game against Tennessee, and I think they needed other people to lose. So, Brian Flores isn't bad, and I feel like he could lead this Jacksonville team somewhere. My other candidate, Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator from Detroit. another good defensive-minded coach and someone who I think can lead this team somewhere. And Ben Johnson, he's the offensive coordinator from Detroit again. Ben Johnson, I would really like because he's really good offensively, and you see what he does for this Lions team offense. I think if you bring him in, he could really take our offense to the next level, which, like I said, it really has to. And next, Robert Sling, the former coach for the New York Jets. Now, I feel like this is someone who would just be a really, really good leader to bring in to help boost the team and help us win. And all these, if they had to pick, if I had to pick between these four coaches, I would take probably Ben Johnson just because of how offensive minded he is. If you go watch the Detroit Lions play, their offense is so insane. And I think if we get him, we could be really, really good. Cause we're just missing kind of a couple of pieces. But it's not like those pieces take years to get. If we have literally one good off season, really good off season, I feel like we can put ourselves back into at least a playoff conversation. So that's for the head coaches. I think drafting and free agency. Let's start with the draft picks. We have like I said, number one. We have pick 5 in round 1. Take Will Johnson. Just take Will Johnson. It is that simple. Don't take Mason Graham. Don't take no offensive lineman. Don't take Abdul Carter from Penn State. No, just take Will Johnson. That is it. It is that simple. We need a corner to help Tyson Campbell. Please do not stick with Ronald Derby. Please. I do not want Ronald Derby out there. He consistently gets cooked, and I don't understand why. Every time a touchdown happens, he's a part of the play. I didn't like him when we signed him, and I don't like him now. I don't like the way he plays football. He's too small, first of all. He's just, for some reason, he just gets bodied by everybody. So I don't like him there. You can keep him as a 3rd string, 4th string. Just get another corner to take his spot. And like I said, that should be Will Johnson. And now, going into free agency. Now, we do actually, back to the draft picks, we do have round 2 pick 36. I think our picks are going to matter once we get to round 5. After all that, then it's really no more. I think we have a lot of picks. We can have a really good draft class. I think with the round 2 pick, if you want, I would go offensive line. Because you have, going into round 3, I would take a D lineman. Between round 3, round 4, you can find a defensive lineman. Because it's the NFL draft. You can find diamonds. Because all you got to do is develop. That's why if we get a good head coach, you can develop the talent. We already have the talent. That's not the problem. We have the talent. We just don't have nobody to take this talent to where it needs to go. Nobody's unlocking the extra power and talent in these players. Because Trevor Lawrence is showing signs that he can be something. Christian Kirk has been showing signs when he was at the Arizona Cardinals, that he could be something. Gabe Davis was literally one of the best receivers on the Bills. Ryan Thomas just showed us he's one of the best rookie wide receivers right now. So, Evan Ingram came to the Jaguars and turned it up after he left the Giants. So, this team has shown they can be talented. And they're built for it. So, we just need the right coach to come in and to unlock that again. Which I don't think Doug Peterson was the full problem. I did want him gone. But I don't think he was fully the problem. I think if you were going to fire him, it should have been more people who were fired right after him. Like Press Taylor. Doug Peterson brought Press Taylor. Doug Peterson, one of the coaches who, wherever he goes, he has to bring his people with him. So I think if you were going to fire him, you might as well have fired Press Taylor. You might as well have just got rid of a couple other people. Like I said, the GM and the owner has to go. Like, especially the GM. The GM is awful. No Jaguar fan likes him. So, for the draft, please just take Will Johnson. That's all I'm worried about. One of my fingers fell over. My Broly figure fell over. But please just take Will Johnson. That's all I ask. Now, going into free agency, we actually don't have a lot of players leaving that are, like, good. The only player I'm worried about is Andrew Cisco. Just sign him back. That's about it. Sign Andrew Cisco because really, I would sign Andrew Cisco back. I'll sign him to like a 3-year deal. I will sign him back. I will sign Mac Jones back. And I would sign our O-line Brandon back. We need him. We need an O-line. I think this team isn't going to do that very good without one. I think this team has a lot of work to do. First, we have to find a head coach. But I think the direction this team is heading could be very good or very bad. And right now, it's not looking that good. So that's really my review. I think I am going to end up doing a draft review after the draft, of course, with them. I'm also going to do a Florida Gators season review, so that'll probably be up next week. Because I'm doing a basketball video. I'm going to do a basketball video on what's going on with Jimmy Butler and NBA teams in the West and the East. So look out for those two. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. That is my season review on the Jacksonville Jaguars. We went 3-14. We did awful. And like I said, my main things is fire Press Taylor. Get a good head coach. Please, for the love of God, take Will Johnson. And sign back Andrew Cisco. Please. That's all I ask. Depending on how this offseason goes will depict if I'm still a Jacksonville fan. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a blessed one, and I hope you guys enjoy.